Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We are 3 matches into a standard league, so we're going to do the remaining 2 and probably just start another league match after that. Here is the most updated version of the deck and what we're playing in the league. So we've got 4 main deck roasts now, you can see that, for the Abzan aggro matchup. So no main deck counterspells anymore. I think that's fine. There's only a couple matchups where you really want the counter spells. The combo-y 4 and 5 color. I can't think of the name of them now. The white spell, the Ancestors one. Recall the Ancestors. It's not Ancestral Recall. It'll come to me. Then Disdainful Stroke for the green-blue Eldrazi deck. There are very likely some other matchups where you want that. Probably against Jeskai Black, I imagine a couple Negates or a Dispel or 2 would not hurt either. But then we've just got pretty much some tech for the aggro matches as well with the Fiery Impulses, Arc Lightning, Radiant Flames. So here it is. Let us move into some league matches. Enjoy. Okay, we found ourselves a match, and we've definitely got a keepable hand here, so let us keep. See what we're up against. Okay. Black and red, perhaps Jund or black-red dragons. Both of those are possible. P and Kiran Nalaar is a good draw. Did not crack the Bloodstained Mire, which means... Oh, could also be a Abzan deck, which makes the 2 roasts in hand much, much better for us. Not ready to drop Shivan Reef just yet, so let's get Hanger back out there. See if our opponent's ready to burn Hanger back right now. Which is still fine, by the way. Okay. That's fine. Got a Fiery Impulse out of the way, and still have a Ghost Fireblade on board. We are ready to kill... well, I was going to say Anafenza, but that doesn't seem correct. What do we got? Kolaghan's Command. Oh, that's pretty good synergy. Basically 2 for 2 still, so I guess I don't mind too much. And we're on point at least to drop a Whirler Rogue or Pia and Kiran Nalaar next turn, so that seems fine to me. Oh, it's got his own. Alright. Well, makes things slightly more complicated. Think we're just going to drop... That's interesting. Can do Vile Aggregate. Kind of want to just drop the Whirler Rogue here. If he wants to use tokens to kill my Whirler Rogue, I'm okay with that. I don't want to drop P and Kiran Nalaar because then he can just kill it. I likely am going to use a roast on P and Kiran Nalaar, but we'll see. Seems like a block to me. Actually, that kind of tells me he has another P and Kiran Nalaar in hand. I think I'm just going to block like this. Yeah, that worked perfect for us. So now we keep our Whirler Rogue. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen. All right. That's fascinating. Why don't we... 2 cards left in my opponent's hand. So I can roast Piet and Kirinalar, play a Ghost Fireblade. I can play Vile Aggregate. I guess I just swing with Whirler Rogue. Wow, seems a bit surprising. Opponent is busting the Spell Wad there. Let's play Vile Aggregate. And we'll play Ghost Fireblade. One card left in our opponent's hand. So likely we can just roast and Ghost Fireblade next turn. No, unfortunately, did have the Murderous Cut. Bit of a bummer there, but that's okay. So taking some damage that I don't want to take. And my opponent can use Piet and Kirin, so it looks like we're going to have to roast. Alright, not super happy with that, but that's just the way it is. So I guess now I can drop my own Piet and Kirinalar and equip a Thopter token. Alright, not particularly happy, but it's okay. So I would like to draw another land so I can at least kill his and play my own. That's really just not what I was looking for, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just not what I was looking for. So I'm in a pretty difficult spot now, unfortunately. Now I have to either decide to roast or play Piet and Kirinalar, which is a tough spot, legitimately. It's not a spot I wanted to be in. So I have to decide between killing Piet and Kirinalar and taking 4 damage, or playing Piet and Kirinalar, hoping my opponent... Basically, my opponent's just going to use Piet and Kirinalar to kill mine, which is not good, as you might imagine. And then I still take some damage. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I guess we roast. Don't like it, but circumstances have not gotten great here. Did not quite draw the way that I needed to this match. And my opponent having double Kolaghan's Command, I think, ended up hurting us pretty badly. Crackling Doom. And my opponent can play it, so I'm going to be taking some damage here. We still have quite a few draws that make us better here. But we got to draw them just about now. All right, it's a helpful one. I think the Murderous Cut was the turn where we really lost this one, I think. Murderous Cut on the aggregate is what got us. Wow, third Fiery Impulse, huh? This is a tough match. or a tough game rather. That was a tough one. Not particularly happy with the way this match played out for us, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Not particularly happy with this one, but that's okay. We get another chance to win this here, so let's see if we can. This certainly seems like a winnable match for us. I think, considering it's not Abzan Agra, I feel very much like we can win this. Very, very, very much like we can win this. So let's bring in the Radiant Flames. I think we take out the Rosts. Just based on what I've seen, they're not useful in this matchup. Ghost Fireblade's going to be a lot worse. Certainly going to be worse. Let's bring in all the pieces of spot removal, although they're not great, unfortunately. Spot removal is not great against our opponent. Board Wipe is fine. I think we want Dispels, right? Because he's running Impulses and Kolaghan's Command and Crackling Doom. All right. That's a good reason to bring in Dispels, and Murderous Cut for that matter. We probably don't need all this spot removal. I think we can cut a couple Impulses at least. Probably all the Impulses, actually. Between Wild Slashes, Radiant Flames, and Arc Lightning, I think we're okay. I probably want like a Negate or two. Take out the Blades. I actually still think Dig Through Time's fine in this match. It actually felt like my opponent was using a lot of spells to deal with our stuff, but still just managed to completely pick us apart and destroy us there. So I'm pretty surprised how that game played out, to be honest. But we've got our counterspell package. We've got some spot removal and board wipe and stuff. So I think this is about as well prepared for this deck as we're going to be. Fiery Impulse admittedly can kill the Shambling Vent, which may be a good reason to play Fiery Impulse instead of Wild Slash, but Wild Slash can burn face. I guess killing Shambling Vent might be more important to me. Probably. Likely. Not 100% on that, but feels correct. All right, let's try this. Yeah, we're going to keep it. Guess we'll open with Shivan Reef. Just in case we have to Impulse turn one, but doesn't seem super likely that we would need to. Okay. That's fine. So probably just going Aggregate into Sky Spawner. All right. Got the answer for that. So we can even play Sky Spawner and leave up Dispel, which is pretty nice, actually. Radiant Flames. All right. So opponent brought it in as well. Dispel does not stop the Radiant Flames. Something I'm going to have to be conscious of. Definitely. So let's play the Sky Spawner. With 4 mana, we can play everything in our deck anyway, so this seems fine. Take out the Shambling Vent, sure. So we've got the counterspell for the Crackling Doom. I probably let him kill Sky Spawner if he wants to do that. Do not have the counter for that. So I guess we play Thopter, Engineer. guess we swing with aggregate. So my opponent could block with, well, not enough to kill it. If I attack with the Sky Spawner 2 and the Thopter, my opponent blocks both. I lose 2 on my aggregate, which I don't think is great. I think we just swing for 4 here. Leave up Dispel. I think that's better. Another P in Kieran Alar, sure. Okay. Likely just going to let my opponent impulse. Targeting the Sky Spawner, which is fine. Attacking with everything. So once again, it feels like my opponent probably has another P in Kieran Alar, even though he exiled one. We're just going to take this, though. This certainly feels like a winnable race. That was a great draw. A really nice draw. And the reason it's so nice is we can still use P in Kieran Alar too. So we play Pia in Kieran. We get to swing with everything. Can't counter the Radiant Flames, I guess. But we're getting in for a ton of damage here. Opponent's taking it all. It's surprising. Got rid of a Gideon. So I can use Pia and Kieran Alar to take out his Pia and Kieran Alar. That's probably just correct, right? I have to sack a Scion, but we're just going to do that, I think. But then I'm tapped out, too, so I can't stop like a murderous cut. So if my opponent uses 3 of his mana and a token to kill Pia and Kieran Alar, he's left with 4 blockers to my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers, one of which is huge. I think I'm just going to keep up Dispel. If my opponent wants to use his basically his turn to kill Pia and Kieran Alar, I still think we're in good shape. I still think we're going to be able to win with a Vile Aggregate or the rest of our attackers. Just seems unnecessary to kill Pia and Kieran Alar here, since, like I said, it takes enough of his resources. He can't even crack that Wooded Foothills. Like, I don't even get that. He's just dead now. Okay, that was just weird. There was actually no reason for my opponent to do that. Okay, well, we stole game 2. Definitely drew a lot better that one. Still pretty am I tempted to bring in negates? He has Radiant Flames, so I guess yes. I have to assume he's got a couple. Our spot removal is definitely good. If he's running Soulfire Grandmasters, maybe we just ditch out on the Ghostfire Blade plan in general. I do love Ghostfire Blade, but when your opponent's running board wipes, probably don't want it. I don't know. That's tough. See, Ghostfire Blade's really good for our deck, and it adds to our resilience, which is just a true statement. It does add to our resilience. I think we're not going to run a playset of Negate. We probably want like another Wild Slash. We want at least enough spot removal where we can kill Soulfire Grandmaster, because the card can be annoying in the mid to late game. Maybe I don't need double Dispel. Why don't we bring in 1 Dispel, 3 Negate, and then have another piece of spot removal. So that way, Wild Slashes kill Soulfire Grandmaster, they kill P and Kiran Alar, they kill Abbott. Is that all I need? And some negates, probably. 3 Impulse through Wild Slash, Radiant Flames, Arc Lightning. Arc Lightning, is that even that great in this match? It's probably not. It kills, what, tokens? Oh, it can kill, like, Abbott of Carol Keep and a couple tokens. I guess that is pretty decent. Okay. I guess we'll try it like this. Yeah, we're going to keep. I don't like the dig in this hand, but that's okay. It's something to rebuild towards, which I think is actually relevant. All right. Got a couple turns to draw that third land, which is of the utmost importance at this moment, but if we can draw that third land, this hand gets very good. High threat count. Looks like our opponent's probably dropping Soulfire Grandmaster or Abbott. Secret of the Way. All right. Looks like neither. Still would prefer a land here. I'd settle for a burn spell. That's not what I'm looking for. All right. Well, we get one more turn here before we're in serious trouble. Any sort of land miss is just going to escalate steamroll into some catastrophic situation. So we do absolutely, it is of the utmost importance to draw a land here. Otherwise, we're just going to get likely pounded out. All right, that was a pretty incredible play for my opponent, definitely. Not having the negate there is kind of a pretty big bummer, too. So this is going to be the biggest turn of the game right here. This is pretty much the deciding factor. All right. It's not what I wanted, but it's close enough, I guess. We're still in serious trouble, but at least we can make plays. Not having a burn or a counter here is kind of a big bummer. All right, I wouldn't mind a Radiant Flame. Give us a little bit of value here. That'd be really nice. All right, that's tough too. I guess we play Sky Spawner. My thinking on the Sky Spawner is Vile Aggregate likely just gets killed. If my opponent wants to use spot removal to kill Sky Spawner, I'm just going to have to be okay with that. I'm going to be pretty unhappy if my opponent gets a third red mana, goes Fiery Impulse and bring it back, but I'm just not going to be able to do anything about it. Radiant Flames off the top, if he casts something here, would still be just absolutely fantastic. All right, he got the value, which I don't love, but it's been kind of an uphill battle this whole game. Opponent had an aggressive start to our sort of fumbling in the beginning. It's pretty funny. All right, so taking a lot of damage here. Not particularly optimistic anymore, but I guess my opponent only does have a few cards left. Not that many. And we do have 3 P and Kiran Alar. Yeah, that's That's a tough spot too. Not getting the land there is just so detrimental. With 3P and Kieran Alar, we really could have brought this one back too. And not being, yeah, that's so tough. That's so tough. And my opponent gets to attack with Shambling Vent. Unfortunately, this one just got away from us, I think. I think we lost our chance there by not ripping the land. All right, well, nothing to be done. It's just one of those things. One of those things. Disappointing thing is I feel very optimistic about this match for the most part. I think all it requires is a pretty good draw from us, and we very much can win this. He even loses his Soulfire Grandmaster for this. It's just surprising. I mean, he gains a ton of life, but life gain actually doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of matters, but it doesn't matter that much. All right, well, I'm kind of glad he doesn't have Crackling Doom up. Please draw an untapped land. All right. 4 blockers to his 3 attackers. Or I can go Sky Spawner plus Fiery Impulse. Which I guess actually seems okay. I don't want to take damage here. I want to get one of those off the board. I prefer him just hit a land here. Really didn't want him to hit that. All right, well, we get our shot here. We have one shot, and it's Radiant Flames off the top. That's the only way. All right, opponent's just got 6 mana. We have no spot removal, so it looks like we just lose. Because P and Kieran Alar, so that's tough, but I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. All right, not happy, but losses do happen, so I'll accept it. Still think this is a more favorable matchup for us than Abzan aggro, but we did in fact just lose, so actually not sure why my opponent just didn't nuke me. I guess this does the same thing and doesn't cost him any Thopters. All right. Disappointing outcome, but hopefully we can do better in the final match of this league.